Hey guys, welcome back to some more F1 2019 and part 6 of our Williams career mode. In today's episode, we are taking on the Spanish Grand Prix. Thank you for all the support on the series so far. Let's have a little look at the R&D table. We have actually overtook Alfa Romeo into 9th place in the performance ladders. And we're catching up to Toro Rosso as well. It's then going to be a huge leap up to where the McLaren and Force India cars are, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, in the last episode, we got another point this season, and we're now level with Lando Norris, which is awesome. And hopefully we'll be able to continue in that fashion today. The pace has felt pretty good. I've put a lot of downforce on the car, so straight line speed wise we're not going to be brilliant, but through the corners we are pretty quick, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we actually are in qualifying. Can we get through to Q2 again? Who knows.
Qualifying's about to kick off any moment here at the Circuit Barcelona Catalunya. No doubt that today will be full of action on the track.
Well, here we come round the final corner then for our first flying lap. What's it going to be? Coming up to the line, it's a 125.1. That's a really poor lap, to be honest. And we're slowest of everyone that's gone so far. And that's a little bit disappointing, to be perfectly honest with you. We expected a bit more than that. Well, here we come up to the line, 1.2 seconds quicker, and we only end up in 18th place. That is not good. We're going to be out-qualified by our teammate for the first time in a little while, by the looks of things, and it's a big shame because we did feel like the pace was pretty good round here, but we'll give it another go. We come up to the line. Apparently we've made another second. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. And apparently not. I mean, it was telling us we were slow around the lap when we were hitting the sectors. But look at George Russell. A 1:23.2 he pulled off in the end. We did a 1:23.8, and I definitely don't think there was another 6/10 for us to find. So, fair play to George. He was just quicker. Gasly is out in Q1, along with Kevin Magnussen as well. Weber just making it through in the end, but George Russell, standout performer. Could he potentially get through to Q3? Who knows? But we're starting down in 18th position. Not the best from us, but we're just going to have to take it. Time to hand over to David Croft and Anthony Davidson to take us through the 2019 Spanish Grand Prix.
Good afternoon from a very familiar setting. It's race day here in Spain, and with everything still to play for in the championship battle, there's no room for mistakes in a Grand Prix that's well known for creating them. It's 730 metres from pole position down to a slippery turn 1 here, the first of 16 corners around this 2.89 mile racetrack. The long, wide turn 3 and the uphill right-hander of turn 9 can both be taken full throttle in the right conditions, but I doubt very much we'll be seeing any of that today. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. And Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Hülkenberg, Ricciardo, Sainz, Grosjean, and Lando Norris, Perez, Weber, Kimi Raikkonen, and Russell. Magnussen, Gasly, the captain, and Lance Stroll, Albon, and Devon Butler starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Well, here we are down on the track then. Car setup wise, I'm going to add a bit more downforce on because of the wet weather conditions. And we are starting in 17th today. It's going to be a tough one. Don't know what the spray is going to be like, but I guess we'll see off the back of Raikkonen straight away.
Everything looks good on the power unit cycle, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
So, yeah, I've no idea how good a start we're going to have today. You can see the spray on the screen. Obviously, the last time there was a bit of rain was Australia, and we did very well around there, so I don't know if we're going to be pretty good in these conditions again. I have no idea. Obviously it was changeable conditions in Australia. It was sort of a dry track becoming wet, so slightly different scenario here. Oops. I think that's going to be us. Yeah. Removed from the formation lap, unfortunately. So yeah, I think we're going straight onto the formation lap. So we might as well skip it, and we'll just get straight into the action. Lights out, away we go here in Spain. Not the best of starts from us. We are covering Butler, but just bogged down completely at the start of this race, and we're just gonna basically let everybody else take care of this first turn. Stay well back. Look at the spray. Visibility very, very poor indeed. Weirdly, they haven't got the red lights flashing at the back, I don't think. At the back of the cars, so that's something they need to add in, because those are very handy in the wet weather. We'll go down the inside of Butler now.
Alright, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
Annoyingly, I didn't put any extra fuel in. I should have just loaded the car with fuel. Plants the car a little bit more on the track. A light car will just aquaplane. There's Butler going through again as we had a kick of oversteer. We're locked up massively. Oh, we're okay. Force our way through on Albon. Surely going to get a warning for that at the very least. No. Stewart seemed to think that was okay. That bit of argy-bargy there. We are very much struggling to get any sort of power down, as it looks like Charles Leclerc is leading at the start of this race. Very good for him. Now then, here comes Albon in our slipstream. He's down our inside, but I think we're okay.
There's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Well, you join me on lap 8 of this Grand Prix. Sergio Perez is out of the race, and honestly, nothing has happened apart from the Toro Rosso's being incredibly slow and just dropping back a few seconds from us. Nothing's happened. You know, we got pretty close to Raikkonen last lap, and I thought I was gonna be coming in on lap 7 and showing you guys an overtake, but it is just tricky conditions, and everyone's just sort of playing cat and mouse at the moment. And where the sort of unfortunate victims have been trapped behind all this spray, so we can't really pick our lines very well. And you know, we did drop back from Raikkonen a little bit and started posting laps that were 2 seconds quicker than we were before, because it was just so much easier. But yeah, it's
0.4 seconds.
It's pretty boring so far, this Grand Prix, and I think that's indicative of what the Spanish Grand Prix usually is, but not for these reasons. Well, a little door open from Kimi Raikkonen, and we finally managed to make a move. He sort of barged it down the inside there, but you can see how slow. I think it's Russell that's the sort of cork in the bottle at the moment, because the Toro Rossos have caught up, and they were miles behind a couple of laps ago. So someone's slow up ahead, and I think it's Russell. But here we go, once again, onto the straight. And Stroll having a look at Russell now. And Stroll manages to make it through. So we're next to hopefully go through. And I feel like once we've got some clear air, we can then think about catching up to Kevin Magnussen, I think it is, up ahead of Stroll. Go. Well, we're right in Russell's slipstream, but we're not catching up. He's catching up to Stroll. Now I can't work out if he's defending or attacking, but we're going round the outside now, which turns into the inside line. We managed to force our way past George Russell, so we're past our teammate once again on the racetrack, which is good.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Now, time to go after Lance. Well, Magnussen goes wide, and that's going to give us a chance, you feel, going into turn 4 probably. Mind you, he's stuck on the back of Weber, but we have a look down the inside. Little bit of arms in the air there.
Good job.
We sort of locked up and were forced into having a go. Now our former teammate Lucas Weber up ahead of us. We're nearly spun out there.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Well, little door opening again. And we're through for now. We're up into 12th, which is a really, really strong performance considering where we were. We got 3 laps to go after this. Well, Norris is the next car. I'm not sure we're going to be able to quite catch up to him, but we'll try our best.
Right, tyre situation. We're good for the time being, but you are going to start to notice the wear, so make sure it doesn't catch you out.
Well, look how much time we've made. This is how much time we were losing behind the guys in front before, Weber and Stroll and Magnussen. But Stroll up to 13th, so I'm not entirely sure what's happened to them. They've all seemed to bunch together. I don't know whether one of them made a mistake or something like that. But visibly see how fast we are now.
Ahead is 6.9 seconds.
We're making improvements in the first sector. Let's see if we can catch Norris in these next 3 laps. Well, we're on the final lap of the race. Looks like Charles Leclerc has won the Grand Prix. And his first ever Grand Prix victory comes at this Spain-Barcelona circuit. And well, what a performance from him. Does that get him back into the championship fight? That's got to be the question. We're going to come through in 12th place. Our tyres have gone off a little bit in this lap. I think it is time for intermediates, but obviously we haven't got enough time to come in and make them work. But we come round the final corner, and from 18th on the grid, we have took 12th place, which I think is a very, very good result.
Right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
It's a heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and had the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place here today.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. So, let's review the drivers' standings. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, you've put me in a bit of a tight spot today, but I think I'll go for Pierre Gasly. He kept a cool head under pressure and made the most of some difficult circumstances.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today, as they make their way up the standings. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there you go. We finished 12th then. Not too far behind points in the end. Pierre Gasly, of course, starting the place ahead of us. He finished 7 seconds down the road in 10th place, but we outdid our teammate. And if you look at our fastest lap, you know, apart from Gasly, it was quicker than everybody up to Hulkenberg. So, you know, I think we can take some big positives out of that and you know, say, yeah, in these changeable conditions, we are pretty good. And, you know, somehow Hamilton is still leading the championship, but 22 points separate the top four. We dropped down to 15th today, but we're still the last of the point scorers. Raikkonen hasn't scored any points, neither has Albon or our teammate Russell, as well as Butler and Weber. Pardon me. Charles Leclerc getting the fastest lap on the last lap will help his sort of championship challenge, if you like. But Lewis Hamilton finishing 4th, just ahead of Max Verstappen as well, but the top 5 well ahead of anyone else. Let's continue on and see if we've got any sort of interview duties to have to take part in.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today? Appreciate your time.
So there you go. Another media interview done. And heading on to Monaco after this Grand Prix. And, well, Monaco will be an interesting one. You know, it's difficult to sort of know where our pace will be. Probably pretty slow, to be perfectly honest with you. But there we go, a strong performance today for us in the rivalries. We've nearly beaten George Russell now, which is excellent. Got some more resource points as well, which is all good. So we've got about 989, which is excellent. We've increased our rep with a load of different teams, which is good. It looks like we do have a checkpoint challenge in the Braun GP car. That'll be fun, but I'll do that off camera, of course. What's this? Some excellent overtake moves from your former teammate. Did they learn some of those from you? I think they did. You got to remember that me and my former teammate practiced together a ton, so we learned a lot from each other as we progressed through our careers. There you go. You've had experience with Devin Butler's fast, aggressive style. Any advice for the driver as he passed today? Just try and keep their distance. Close battle with Kimi Räikkönen. Did much better in today's race than they did in qualifying. We expected that. I'm certainly happy about me and my former rival had some intense moments throughout F2, so to be able to continue that. Gained a lot of positions in that race. Rubbish. I don't like these things. They're pretty poor. I wish they were of different drivers, not just Webber and what do you call them? Butler. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it today. If you have enjoyed that, then make sure you leave a like down below. It really does help me out. It means a lot to me as well. Subscribe to the channel for regular F1 2019 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.